Hey guys, how we doing? Let me turn the music down a little bit. There we go. That's better. Oh. Okay. How we doing? You doing good? welcome to the stream. Got to bring in the energy. Apologize. Yeah. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the stream. This is the third live stream now of making The Last of Us inside of Unreal Engine. I realized last stream around that title is a little clickbaity. I apologize. I don't mean that I'm literally creating a game. I'm actually making a movie inside of Unreal Engine. That's what we do on this channel. Is we make short films. I say me. I make short films inside of Unreal Engine, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm making a Last of Us film inside of Unreal Engine. So that's the title. So yeah, no game design, but all the other cool stuff. You know, motion capture, facial capture, environments, lighting, action, cinematography, lots of cool stuff. And basically, I just stream what I would be doing regardless, working on this, trying to get this out in time for the new season of the show. Excuse me. But instead, I just stream once a week and show you guys what I'm working on and answer any questions you guys have, and yeah, just have a bit of a fun time, I guess. Really, that's pretty much all there is to it. But welcome everyone who's coming into the stream now. It's awesome to see you all here. Yeah, I think we can just kind of head right into it, to be honest. But yeah, basically, let me just jump right into it. You know what? Might as well. But here we are in our scene. We're making good progress. So this is our scene. Like this is without post-processing and weather. And then you turn on the rain and it becomes a lot more moody, a lot more creepy. This is it's meant to be like a stalker or someone that's becoming a stalker. Is it stalker? I think that's the term, right? I was calling them lurkers for the longest time, and then I realized, no, wait, I think it's stalker. And then we've got our main character here. You can't see him all too much at the moment, but don't worry, we will be getting through that. And basically, what we've got here is we've got the motion capture. Right, this is just the raw motion capture. We've not set up any cameras. We've not set up any things. You'll notice I've added like a kind of cool torch effect there, which I think is going to be pretty cool for some shots. This guy is not going to be here the whole time. This is just how we shot it in the volume. This is just that raw mocap. You're not seeing much other than that. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with the lighting. I've added like a lot of reflective stuff onto these guys. Making sure they look like they're properly soaked by the rain. And essentially what we're going to be doing, and then yeah, so Stalker comes in, attacks him, he kills it, kicks it to the ground, and it's going to reveal just a bunch of them right there, and then he turns and runs. But basically, we've got a few things here that we need to do before we can start rendering. Right. So first off is, as you can see, there's no facial capture. There's no facial capture on either of these guys, and also the hands. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in that axe prop that he's holding. think that's just the way he was holding it. But this initial bit to about here. So the way we fix this is we come in, just delete all those keyframes. So that basically now when we watch this back, these things are the most... What's this? Oh, these are just audio things. Go away. No, I don't want to break the scene. What's this doing? Yeah, if you haven't noticed, I didn't design this level. I'm just using it for this scene, and then I'm altering things. Like I've completely changed the lighting and the weather system. And I'm going through and I'm just making sure, well, it aligns with what I'm looking for. So let's have a look at this now. So there we go. See his hand now. Boom. And that looks good. That looks good. Okay, so at this point, now here's another thing that was quite cool about what we did when we were using the Vicon volume, is we were able to put sensors on props. We were able to get essentially toys, Nerf guns, things like that that you get from like your classic toy store, and we were able to cover them in, well, sensors, really. Hang on, this music's too loud. We were able to cover them in sensors and use them as props, and then actually the system could pick them up as the prop that we told them what it was, right? Now, we did that for every scene. However, it's a little in my range of I'm not super familiar with the workflow that comes with that, and so I'm only going to use that data in the scene where it's most applicable, which is a scene with multiple characters fighting each other, and there's a few beats in the choreography where guns get knocked out of hands and things like that. And for that bit, I think it's important to use the prop motion capture that we captured. But for this one, where he's literally just walking around with his axe and then embeds it in and then kicks him away, we don't need to worry too much about like actually bringing that data in. It's going to be much quicker and actually, frankly, a lot easier to just bring in an axe prop and attach that to the hand. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to type in here, that is not how you spell axe. I'm dyslexic. Okay. Turn on static mesh. There it is. Awesome. So bring that in. And we don't need to worry about the positioning too much right now because we haven't got the finger tracking on yet. And so I don't really want to lock into where this thing is in space just yet. It's just going right into his head. Oh, that's going to be very cool to start adding some more effects to it. I do want to add some cool like blood effects and stuff like that, but there's a plugin for it. Is it a plugin? No, it's not a plugin. It's like an asset pack, but I just can't afford it right now. I need to wait for my payday. Once I get my payday, I can buy that and start adding that stuff into the scenes. But everything else, this is, we can do. Yeah, it's just basically the way you attach something is you come in here, add your axe, you attach it. We want to attach it here to the body. Type in hand, here's the right hand, and where'd it go? Basically, the reason why props disappear when you attach them, it's kind of annoying, to be honest. I don't know why this is a thing, because it's not a thing in Blender and it's not a thing in Maya. And it kind of annoys me that it's a thing here. But basically, when you attach something to a rig, whether it's a prop or a piece of clothing, what happens is that becomes the origin. So 0, 0, 0, like 0x coordinates, 0y coordinates, 0 z coordinates. That becomes it. So then all that movement data that you've applied to line it up becomes useless. So what you basically have to do is just come down here to your location, reset, boom, here it is. Rotation is a little off, so that's let us fix that. Nice. Now, obviously, no point this axe being this way around, because like, what damage is that going to do, eh? Now, whoo, nice. Now, obviously, you see there, it like his hand kind of goes all weird. Don't worry, we can solve that. So what we do is we come back to our control rig, and we essentially just are going to add another layer on top. Simple as that. And we're going to go to the point where it does that. That looks fine. Let's find the hand. And put a keyframe there. And then there. And fix it a little. That's better. And I've got auto keyframes on, and that just saves you having to manually go in and shift things, you know. Now it's like boom, and he's just got it there in his hand. Looks cool, nice. Runs, cool. And this will be all edited down as well, because we've got to keep the pacing up. I think it's like, I think it has to be a max of 20 seconds per block, and I think there's 9 blocks. Because this is all going to be along to a piece of music. And I want it to line up with that piece of music. Luckily, there are parts of the movie where this music is... Speaking of music, this is awful. I've got this like copyright-free music playing because I was playing this playlist called Just Vibes that I created for streaming and also when I'm just doing VFX. But it always gets copyright claimed, even though all the music claims that it's copyright free. So it's kind of annoying. But anyway, this is fine. So this is looking pretty cool. And basically, we had the actor take a like walk back and forth a few times, so that then for different shots we could sequence it in different areas of the environment, get some just lead up shots of him walking around, and also get some bits of these guys like lurking or around. I think that's why I always called them lurkers, because like they're lurking around, but I know they're not called lurkers, they're called stalkers. Are they? Are they called stalkers? I believe they're called stalkers, right? The stage in between runner and clicker is called a stalker because they like hide and stuff. So that looks pretty cool. Obviously, the axe is not making contact. We can also see as well another issue. And that is that the decals are being applied to this guy, which we don't want. So we're going to go through disable that because we don't want decals being applied um, to this character. It's always weird when you see a character in a very photoreal scene walking along, and then all of a sudden, a bunch of decals get applied to him, and it just looks really different. Not what we want. Not what we want. But... So let's come in here. So we got our stuff here, and we're gonna go from about here, and we're gonna put a keyframe in the lower arm, we're going to put a keyframe in the upper arm, and we're going to put one in the hand, and then we're going to scrub along to about there. And that's about where he made contact. And we're just going to add another keyframe here, add another keyframe. Now, we're not doing anything yet because basically we want his arm to go back to normal. And if we just do the keyframes now, they'll be applied to the later animation and it will look weird. Does that make sense? So we don't want to do it yet. We just want to get to about here. Add another keyframe, and then let's kick him away, and we'll add another keyframe. Awesome. So now we can bring this along, bring this down, bring this down quite a lot. Nice. We're gonna do a little more on the forearm because I didn't like how much the animation is coming. There we go. Nice. So it's like really embedded in his back. Yeah. Will be a big like of blood and everything. It's gonna look very cool. Probably keyframe there, keyframe there, keyframe there. Nice. And we will just bring this along one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And there's a little more. Come on. Let's turn off the lock on that. Just do this. There we go. That's good. It's like, boom. Move this along a little more. Okay. Bit of an empty stream today. All good though, I'm sure. People will be perhaps more interested to watch it in their own time. I get it. You know, I do that all the time. Can't remember the last time I actually watched a live stream live, so I get it. Get it. Whoa, what's happening there? Boom. I don't. Cool. Um. Civil. I think today will be a bit of a shorter stream than usual. Probably like cap at the hour mark. Simply because, boy, I am tired. Alright? I am tired. It's been a lot of work. Like, I'm juggling a lot right now. I've got this. I've got other stuff. I've then also got my job, like my actual full-time job, because I don't make money off of this channel. And then I've also got some freelance, and yeah, and then also just trying to prioritize like a little bit more free time for myself. I don't really have a social life right now. It's all just work, work, work. And I think I'm starting to feel the effects of it. I've been doing that for about 3 years now. And it's gotten me to a great place. You know, this channel is growing and I have my job that I'm very happy with. And I'm very happy with the amount that I'm learning from my job right now. It's helping me improve a lot as a director, as a supervisor, VFX supervisor, and also just in general VFX skills. I'm learning a ton. Hey man, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, so trying to prioritize more time for myself and just either hanging out with friends or just resting. Alright, let's see what this looks like now, eh? Obviously this is like a low quality, like I'm viewing this in low quality. That's why you're seeing this kind of weird thing going on right now. Like this ghosting effect. That will not be visible in the final piece. I just want to see what that attack from the stalker looks like. Okay. Boom. Nice. Yeah. Like it's supposed to be dark and obscured and you can't see too much. Like it's meant to be, I guess, terrifying. It's crazy how much that does for it. Like this is it without the weather, and then you apply the weather effects. Does so much for it. So much. When do you think you're going to finalize this? Can't wait to see. My aim is to get it out the same week that the new season of The Last of Us show comes out, which is not far away. I believe it's the 13th of April. My plan is to get it out that same week. However, if I have to delay it by a week in order to make sure that this is actually to the quality, then I will, without hesitation, delay it by a week. You know, I'd rather get a good product to you guys. And also, the show is like releasing one episode every week. So, you know, makes sense. You know, it makes sense to release it around that time because it's not like a movie where it just drops and then you just don't see it again. It's actually going to be like, okay, first episode, second episode, third episode. So I'll have a large window, but ideally I want to get this out like as soon as possible, really. There's 9 blocks in total. This is the 4th block. 3 of them are already done. They look very nice. I'm very happy with how they look. This is the 4th block. There's, I'm trying to think how, there's a few blocks that aren't that hard and shouldn't take me more than a few days. But there's other ones that could take me upwards of a week. just to get the one block done. Um, so I'm trying to I'm trying to sneak in as much time as possible working on this thing as I can, because I want to get it out. I want to get it out for you guys to enjoy, because I think you will all really like this. I've been working very hard on it. I'm not skipping any steps. I'm not cutting corners. I'm really trying to make this thing as incredible and photoreal as possible. Good luck. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's not too much time until the new season comes out, but I think I'm making good progress. Like I said, there's 9 blocks in total, but some of them are like really easy to do. Um, and to be honest, like the main problem at the beginning was just uh like bringing all the assets together. So now that I have everything together, it's like, are you going to upload episodes or a short movie? So it's going to be a short film. Yeah, it's going to be a short movie. Um, I it's going to be between how long is it going to be? It's probably going to be close to 10 minutes long. That is my best guess. It might be a little less though. It might be 7 minutes. Um, but it's very polished, tight, like not wasting about kind of, high quality stuff. That is the goal. You will feel satiated after watching it. Um, but it's separated into blocks where certain events happen, and some of those blocks are a lot longer and a lot more complicated than others. So that's why I've got to you know prioritize others over some, but I'm trying to get all the easy ones out of the way so that then I'm not thinking in the back of my head whilst I'm working on the more complicated ones, oh crap, I've got like 3 more to do, you know? So that's kind of my thought process behind it. But yeah, it is. So his hand breaks as well. Is it broken at that point? When does it break? I like cinematics in Unreal Engine 2, but still learning. Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, it's very fun. It's very fun to do. I've always had fun making this stuff in Unreal. Um, it's just a lot of fun. It's really fun. Okay. Um, this is what our guy is looking like. I kind of want to add a little light, just under, like, just kind of. No, it's not going to be a point light, is it? I need it to be. What's it going to be? Uh, it'll be a spotlight. Bring in a spotlight. Let's let's 0.1, something really low. Basically, I need a little light hitting his face because right now you cannot see his face at all, which is kind of an issue. We kind of need to see our main character's face. So let's make this light a lot softer. Something like that. Let's angle that, and then we're going to drop the brightness quite substantially, something like that. We're also going to drop the volumetric so that it's not actually casting any kind of volumetric light, because otherwise you will straight up just see the source. That's better. Yeah, that's good. You can see his face, and I can bring that up in the grade. I can bring up the detail on his face a little more. Let us attach this to his head. So we're going to bring it in. We're going to hit attach onto our guy, body, head. See, it disappears, but we just reset the location and it comes right on back. Granted, it's inside his head right now. So let's see, what angle is it? Don't want it flat on because that just looks shite. Nice. That's better. Basically, that just means now his face is always illuminated. Which we want, we want his face. Oh, whew, that's going to be a very cool shot. What do you think about Xsense suits? Is it similar to Vicon? No, it's quite different to Vicon, but it's a very good suit. It's a very high quality, very good suit. It's basically it's more similar to Rococo, but much higher quality. Because it uses a type of motion capture called inertial motion capture, which is basically where you've got a bunch of sensors inside the suit. They're very similar. They're very similar to the sensors inside your phone. That kind of tell it if it's landscape or if it's landscape or vertical, and then like changes the screen appropriately. It's essentially got a bunch of advanced versions of those layered out throughout the suit. And so what you do is you do a calibration, it knows where they all are, and then from there it's able to estimate, keyword estimate, the positioning of your shoulders, your head, your legs, your hands, all these different parts of your body. Um, the problem is, because of this type of motion capture being inertial motion capture, it is quite susceptible to interference from tech and metal. So if you were to try and do some motion capture in a studio where you have a lot of PCs and a lot of metal, it's probably going to struggle. The other day, I was using one of my Rococo suits inside of a studio, and unfortunately, because of the amount of metal and tech, the motion capture was almost unusable. Um, just because of the amount of interference. And and the Rococo suit is incredible. I've used it a ton of times and it's never failed me. It's just like when there's too much tech, too much interference, it messes with it. The advantage with Xsense is that it is able to be far more resistant to that type of interference. It's able to resist it far better. I don't know how, probably just better hardware. You can also be a lot further away from the computer that is receiving all the data, and it still looks really good. Um, yeah, it also does like elevation tracking and stuff like that, which is awesome. Rococo does do elevation tracking, but it's kind of iffy. Like you have to manually type in like how much height you're going up by, which is just super tedious. Whereas Xsense kind of just does it. From what I've seen, I could be completely wrong in that, so don't quote me. But whereas Vicon is using multiple cameras, and the cameras are looking at the sensors and then using that data from all those different angles to figure out where you are. So rather than it just guessing after you calibrate, it's actually being constantly told at a high frame rate where exactly you are and what you are exactly doing, which is why the data looks so much better. So this is looking pretty neat. So what I want to do next is, I believe it's going to be facial capture. So let's do some facial capture. You know? Did I already process it? Hell yeah. I already processed it. Oh wait, no, this is a different one. I believe this is a yeah, I believe this is a different one. So I have to close this out and go into another one. That's right. That is okay. Okay. Waiting for this to load. That's why I like you. Getting advice from you is better than watching a YouTube review. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you find it useful. Sometimes I feel like I'm just waffling. You know, I talk a little too much sometimes, and so to know that I'm at least making sense to a certain degree, that is good to hear. I'm glad it is useful for you. Like, they're all good suits. I would say Vicon is the best out of the three. Like, if you had to pick one, I would say go with Vicon, but Vicon is very, very expensive. And I only got to use it for this project because someone incredibly kind and very generous called Robin, shout out Robin, approached me after seeing my channel and gave me the opportunity to use the volume that he had access to. So it was very much a blessing. I would not have been able to do it if it hadn't been for him offering that. I would have, this short film would have been much shorter and much more simple because I would have had to have done all the motion capture myself using Rococo. Okay, so let's call this James. Let's just call it James Stalker Forest. Just something really obvious that lets me know what it's for. Okay, so we're gonna bring in our footage. Oh, I need to remember which one. Stalker Forest. Hell yeah. Dub Robin. Hell yeah, Dub Robin. He's an incredible guy. I'm going to try and get him to record something for because we're going to make a behind the scenes breakdown of this piece. I'm going to try and get him to do like a little mini interview with my editor over a call or something like that, or even in person would be best. Yeah, I just think it will be cool to get his opinion on the stuff, you know, and what he thinks about it and what kind of brought us together to make this. Hopefully the first of many, you know, so we can keep bringing some high quality stuff to you guys to enjoy. I'm also hopefully, no promises, but I'm hoping to try and secure somewhere to use for a premiere of this. Obviously it will go up on YouTube, you guys will be able to enjoy it, but I'm going to try and secure somewhere for a premiere for friends and family, and yeah, maybe subscribers, if any of you are in UK and want to come along to the premiere and meet me and meet the cast, then feel free to, you know, come along. Again, no promises yet, because I I don't know if it's going to happen yet. I'm hoping it does. But if it does, we'll vlog that as well, record all of that. And that will be in the behind the scenes video that we post. Yeah, just to show you guys what your support for this channel is able to bring. You know, my eventual goal would be able to do like a premiere for every single short film that goes up on the channel and like invite subscribers to come and just watch it, you know, and you don't have to pay for tickets or anything, you know. Hopefully if the channel gets big enough so that I can rent out cinemas, because renting out a cinema room is very expensive and I do not have any money. Okay, so basically what we're doing here, guys, is we are now processing our facial capture. And this was done using the Rococo head rig. Shout out Rococo. They have really awesome head rigs that are probably the most affordable head rigs that you can get on the market today. I think the next most affordable one is over $1,000, which is stupid for a piece of hardware, I think. It's incredibly incredibly greedy of the company to charge that much. Whereas Rococo were like, nah, we're just gonna make it affordable for everyone. It's still like, you know, I think it's like $110. So I was only able to afford the one, but Robin also had one, so we were able to use both of them and get facial capture of characters together, which was really awesome. But basically, we used an app which is on your iPhone called LiveLink Face App. And essentially what the LiveLink Face App does is it uses the regular camera, and then it also uses depth information and combines the two to create super realistic facial animation. Without needing any tracking markers. I mean, look, this is our main actor, our main talent, Daniel. Shout out Daniel. Incredibly talented actor. I immediately knew that he was James. That's the main character is called James. I immediately knew that he was James when I watched his tapes. He just oozed the charisma that I was looking for and the type of character I was looking for. And so he did an incredible job. We were very short on time, so we had to do a lot of one-take wonders, and I would just go up to him and tell him, look, this is what the character's doing, this is the context, this is what your character's feeling. Any questions? And he'd be like, nope, that sounds good, let's go. And we would just do it, and it'd be one-take wonder. He'd hit every beat, all the emotion would be there, and it was incredible to work with him. He's very talented, so shout out to Daniel. Yeah, we didn't need to have any tracking markers on him, which is quite useful as an actor. You feel a little less ridiculous. I mean, you're still in a skin-tight suit with a bunch of golf balls, which can be, you know, a little ridiculous when you're pretending that there's zombies chasing you. I'm sorry, infected chasing you. But he was still able to do an incredible job, and obviously not having a bunch of tiny golf balls and tracking markers all over your face really helps. It helps a lot with just being able to be in the moment. And also, if you're opposite an actor, it can be quite hard to take them seriously if they've just got a bunch of dots all over their face. And so we didn't have to worry about that with this. So essentially what you're seeing right now is we're feeding that LiveLink Face App data into something called MetaHuman Animator. If you do not know what MetaHuman Animator is, I highly recommend you checking it out, because it is a very powerful new software. I mean, it's not new. It's been around for like a year or so, maybe a little more, but it's very powerful, has a lot of capability to get some pretty awesome facial capture that is on the level of like AAA games. And then you can push it even further by going in and cleaning it up and pushing certain emotions, which is what we're going to do in a second. Excuse me, which is what we're going to do in a second. Sorry, I haven't had much to eat today, so I've been burping a lot because of just the stomach acid in my body is going like, what's going on? Where's the food? And I'm like, so that's why I'm drinking a lot of water. Heartburn, you know? Too much information. I'm talking too much. But anyway, it's getting fed through, and right now it's just doing the normal pass where it's just taking the data from what it sees here and is trying to match that here. And then what it's going to do afterwards is it's then going to do a depth pass. And that's where it's going to take the data here from the depth camera and it's going to combine that with what it generates here. And that's where we get the super high detail. And then we can export that out as a level sequence. And then we can put it onto our main character's face. And then we can add extra emotion. Like if I want him to look more angry, I can make him snarl more. If I want him to look more sympathetic and sad, I can push his eyebrows up maybe make his lip quiver a little, you know, whatever it is that I want to do. So did you track the camera or make the camera movements manually? uh what do you mean, this camera here? Do you mean this camera here? This is just an iPhone. If this is what you meant, that this is just an iPhone. Which is on the head rig. Hang on. Let me go grab my head rig and I'll show you how it works. All right? I'll grab my head rig and I'll show you. Whoop. Okay, I could not find my head rig. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere and I can't be bothered to look for it. But essentially it's just, I mean, what you see here, it's a head rig and there's a little clamp at the front. You put your phone on and your phone just is there. Yeah. Oh, you mean in the scene? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I usually just hand animate them, mate. I just usually just hand animate them and then add some like noise onto the rotational data to give it the feel of being handheld. We could have, I think they had a setup in the volume where we could have used a camera like you see in the behind the scenes of the Avatar movies, but I was just like, nah, it's just going to complicate things. It also restricts the movement for the actors because they've now got to worry about a camera in already, which is, it's quite a small space. So, you know, hello mate, how you doing? Hello, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. But yeah, so it basically, we were just like, let's just focus on the performance like we're doing a piece of theater, and then I will worry about the cameras later. It is cool as a director to be like, oh, I can hold my camera and have a little screen that streams what this data will look like in Unreal. That is cool. But also at the same time, it doesn't really matter because it kind of just complicates things. I'd rather get a good performance and then worry about the cameras later. So yeah, we didn't track any cameras. Okay, I think it's just, that is definitely a copyright song. Why is it playing that? Okay, so now it's doing the depth pass. So it's done the first pass, it's now doing the depth pass. It always looks so strange watching back the data. I I'm actually going to have to do some infected motion capture myself, so I'm going to have to put on the head rig. Well, I'll have to find it first, and then I'm going to have to do some facial capture myself of just going like kind of stuff. Not that exact noise, but you know what I mean. To put on the the infected. See how long this takes. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, and then what we can do, I think, as the last thing for this live stream is we will finish putting this data onto the character, watch it through, see how it looks, clean it up a little, and then I think we'll call it there for today's live stream, really. I do want to stream more, but just the issue is I have this full-time job. You're not the first person to say that, actually. I've had a few people say, why don't you just do your own course? But I don't know, man. I feel like there's just so many courses out there, you know? I feel like it's the same in the fitness industry. Like, you know, people are like, oh, you should have your own coach nutritional course, and it's like, what, me and the other 1 billion people with all their fitness nutrition courses, you know what I mean? There's just so many courses out there, so I don't know if I have anything new to bring to the table, essentially, because everything that I would be talking about in the course, like, someone's already made a YouTube video about it, and I would kind of feel bad charging people money for information that they can easily find on YouTube, you know, or on like a Reddit page or on the Unreal Engine 5 forum. Like, I'm everything I know when it comes to Unreal Engine, I learned through watching YouTube tutorials, also just YouTube videos, like a lot of the corridor videos, a lot of behind the scenes videos of just stuff in general, going on Reddit, going on Unreal Engine forums and stuff. You know, it's always some guy from like 9 years ago that figures out what your problem is. But like, it's all the data's out there for free, and so I don't know, I feel like I would just kind of feel kind of bad if I was to like put a paywall and be like, yeah, you can learn what I know, but you gotta pay this amount, you know what I mean? And I would also worry, like, am I charging the right amount? Like, if I charge too much for the value, you know, would people be like, wait, why do I have to pay this much? You're not, you know what I don't know. Maybe someday. But I don't know. I feel like I don't know enough yet. I feel like I've barely scratched the surface of what I can learn and what I can do in Unreal Engine, and so I think that's the main thing that's like kind of stopping me from exploring the idea of doing a course any further, you know? But hopefully, if the channel takes off, and I'm able to get a team working on stuff with me, it would be really cool to maybe eventually do a course, but not be the only one on the course, you know? So like have multiple people doing sections of it so that there's more value to it rather than just me teaching you a bunch of stuff that you can just learn on YouTube, you know? Your live streams give better teaching than those existing courses, for real. They are so basic and expensive. Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, again, I've never taken a course, so I don't really know what they teach, but yeah, if I was, and I might, you know, it's definitely something that I have thought about, but if I were to do it, I'd want to do it with a team. So I wouldn't want to be the only one teaching. I'd want to have other people who are experts in other areas of Unreal Engine, to really bring value to it. And then I would also want to make sure that the value, like, it's not expensive. I'd want to keep it super affordable, because I give a shit about money. I'm gonna be honest, mate. I don't give a flying fuck about it. Like, as long as I can afford, like, if I can live the average Joe's life and not panic about bills and rent and normal food, like, I don't need expensive food. I'm happy with normal food. Like, as long as I'm not panicking about that stuff, like, I'm happy. You know, I don't need a big mansion. I don't need fancy cars. I don't need expensive clothing. All that's bullshit, you know, all that fickle. I don't need that stuff. So when it comes to creating a course, I would want to make sure that it's far more valuable in terms of what you would learn compared to like its price. I'd want to, like, if I was to get a professional to be like, oh, how much do you think I should charge, and they give me price, I would then like cut that in half, because like I don't think a paywall should be put up for knowledge, you know? I feel like knowledge should be something that everyone can access. So, yeah. I'm also just sick of how obsessed people are obsessed with money nowadays. YouTubers in general are just... It's all about money. It's all about putting dollar signs in your thumbnails. I just don't care about any of that. So, yeah, I might do a course, but if I were to do a course, I'd want to do it with a team so that we can bring more value to it. And then on top of that, I want to make it super, super affordable so that, you know, no one's like looking at the price and going, oh, I wish I could afford that. I could learn so much, but I just can't afford it. It's like, well, then I'll just make it cheaper so that you can afford it. Because that's not fair for me to just put a paywall on it. You know what I mean? I don't feel like it's very fair to do it. Same with like same with anything, to be honest. Any kind of course, I feel like the amount of money that people charge for shit is like wild. It just doesn't make any sense. Dub Sam, dub. I don't know. I'm ranting. I'll stop. And it looks like our facial capture is dead. I mean, it's almost done. It's got to fill that orange bar. It's got to fill with green, and then we're good to go. And we can do some facial mocap cleanup, and then from there we just put it on a character, see how it looks, and then yeah, I think we'll call it there. And because I don't want to reveal too much, I want you guys to enjoy this piece, you know. So I want to show glimpses in these live streams, but not too much to the point that like, you know every step of the way. And you're like, oh, okay, I know this is gonna happen. I know this is gonna happen. Like, I want you guys to I want there to be some mystery, you know? Especially in the creepy parts, because people forget Last of Us is actually pretty scary. Yo, no man, you're not late. We're just gonna be, well, I mean, I've been live streaming for a little over an hour, so I guess you are a little late, but it doesn't matter because like you can just go back and watch it. But yeah, like I'm not finishing yet. We're just gonna finish processing this facial capture data, and then from there we are going to apply it to our character, see what it looks like on our character, add some additional keyframes to push certain emotions, and then I think we'll call it there for this particular shoot. Not too late for that, Greg, Jeff, and Bob Law. Hell yeah. Yeah, we'll get around to that scene eventually. You know, that environment's looking good now. I'm happy with that environment for that piece, but that one in particular is probably going to be the longest and most complicated block of the entire piece. We actually had a proper combat choreographer come in and work with me to choreograph it. I blocked out what I wanted the fight to be, and sent it over to him, and we blocked it out. He choreographed it all, worked with all the actors, and it looks amazing. You can see little teasers of it on my Instagram. If you check out my Instagram, you'll see little teasers for it. But yeah, that's going to be the most complicated scene for me to do, because it's a lot of characters, and facial capture was not recorded at the same time because well, I mean, to be completely honest, the reason is trying to do a fight choreography with a big ass helmet on your head with a phone in front of your face is pretty difficult. And I didn't want anyone accidentally hitting each other and hurting each other. So we went the safe route, and we're going to basically do like facial capture ADR, where once everything except the facial capture is done, I will render it out, and then the actors will use that and basically they'll wear the facial capture rig and watch the video and just pull the facial expressions along to the video. If that makes sense. That's the plan. Awesome. Okay, look at that. It is done. So we'll save it. Let's it's pretty cool, doesn't it? Obviously, that this shake that you're seeing will not be there when we apply it, so don't you worry. Where is Ellie? Um, Ellie is not in this short film. Because I don't want the pressure of trying to recreate such a beloved character. So I went with making my own story, but set in the world of The Last of Us. The reason why I've been using the thumbnails that I've been using is just because they're cool looking thumbnails. So hopefully you understand that and aren't mad at me. Okay. Is this it? Yes, it is. Whoa. That is bright. Let's drop the brightness here. Drop it. There we go. Okay, so obviously we've got our data and it looks pretty nice. But we don't want the data on this weird clay head, right? We want it on our character. So what you do is you come to your skeletal mesh asset here. You click on your head. You have your little reference footage here as well, which is very useful for when you're cleaning it up, because it means you can always look back to the performance of the actor and go, okay, what did they do at this point? And so sometimes the facial capture doesn't pick up what they were doing, so you can push it, basically. So we need to change this to the actual head of the person. So we're going to type in the name of our guy. The reason why he looks so sweaty and glossy right now is because the scene is in the rain. So whoa, what's going on? Really? You're gonna do this to me? okay. Um, there's not enough concern on his face. Like looking at this data, there's not enough concern on his face. I don't see enough concern on his face. I need to see a lot more concern. How did you create that foggy torchlight? Thanks. It's actually really hard. Hard? I meant to say really easy. Sorry. It's actually really easy. So basically, it's a spotlight. So you come here, lights, spotlight. You bring that into your scene, and then you come down to this thing. Like this is the top, and you just scroll down. You don't need to scroll much to volumetric scattering intensity. And essentially, what this value does is the higher the number, the more the light will interact with the fog in your scene, causing a ray light, like a ray of light. So if I put it to 0, you see it completely disappears. But then if I put it to like 50, it's like it's interacting with a ton of the fog, right? So that's essentially what's happening. And you just do that to your spotlight, and it creates that effect, and then you can change the color and the temperature and all that different stuff, whatever you want to, and yeah, it looks pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy with it actually. I was kind of worried it wasn't going to look very cool, but it looks pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good. Um, let's do this. There we go. I don't know why this issue that you sometimes get with uh Unreal Engine is because you've got so much going on in your scene, it will sometimes like offload uh some of the higher quality textures to like manage the performance. Because it's a game engine, but obviously we're not using it for a game engine, so I don't really care about that. But for this, it looks pretty good. But my issue is he doesn't look tense. He doesn't look like he's walking through a terrifying place, right? Till about here. And to be honest, even then he doesn't look that tense. So let's do this. There we go. So let's bring these bad boys up. I always find these are super useful. So here's what you do. Go do a keyframe there, keyframe there. Then there. Yeah. This character reminds you of your uncle. Yeah. That'll be funny. That'll be funny if you showed it if you showed it to your uncle. Like, look, uncle, you're in The Last of Us. You're fighting zombies. So I just want to add a little more intensity to him, which is coming in pretty nicely. Because basically, like when you watch it back this close, it always looks awesome. But then the issue is you you go you basically you then put it in your scene and like the emotions that you thought were super visible are no longer super visible because they're further away from the camera. So yeah, I like to exaggerate it on purpose just to play it safe. Really? Um, what is the name of it? Is it this one? What animation bone is that? That's cheekbone raise. Is it? No, I don't want the pupil. Pupil's fine. Squint? I think it's squint. Yeah. Um, let's leave. Keyframe there. Keyframe there. Keyframe there. Nice. I do want him scorning a little bit more. I don't see it enough. I need to see it more. Looks like he's like my fringe is so long, but it looks like he's doing this all the time, which I don't want. Is it because of these keyframes? That's better. Is it raise in? There. Do you like to work at a game company as an animator or any other position? Yeah, I mean, like, I'm open to the idea, but for me, like, I want to make movies. I want to tell stories, and I'm not really like a game designer kind of guy, you know? If I were in charge of making the cinematics that you see in the trailers, like the super high detailed cinematic trailers that you see for video games, I am down. Because that's my goal. Like, if any of you have seen the Netflix show Love, Death, and Robots, that's like my goal. I want to reach that level, and I want to be consistently making stuff on that level. And who knows, maybe actually get one of my pieces into Love, Death, and Robots. That would be pretty sick. So, like, you know, I'm open to the idea, but at the same time, like, I'm more focused on making movies. Okay, let's fix this camera, because what the hell is going on right now? Figure, video, default, bring the contrast, there we go, that's better. Bring the brightness up a little bit, maybe not too much. Apply. Okay. There we go, I'm a little less blown out now. Yeah, I'm open to the idea for sure, but only if I'm doing the cinematics. Like, I like games, but my goal at the end of the day is to make movies and be a good storyteller. You know, I don't... did you see Assassin's Creed Shadow? I've seen clips, and they were Oh, the cinematics for Assassin's Creed are always good. The cinematic trailers for Assassin's Creed are always good. Like, they're actually what I got, are probably the first thing that got me interested in it. Yeah. No, it was... Yeah, those cinematics, whoever's in charge of those cinematics, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. I haven't played the game, so I can't actually comment on the game, but the cinematics, boy, are they spicy. Okay, this looks pretty good now. There's a little bit of concern on his face, which I like. Like a little bit more. Perhaps we do this. Cool. It's pretty good. Why my uncle screaming? Now, I just need to check, because it looks like right there, got a little issue with the lips. Why does this always happen? It's like something... Aha. Found it. Figured it out. It's just sometimes... Keyframe there. Keyframe there. I don't want him... Like, I don't want any obvious glitches, if that makes sense. Like, I'm really trying to be... I'm trying to be really fussy when it comes to imperfections. Because I'm trying to hit a level of realism that I've never hit before in any of my short films with this short film. And I think I'm on my way to doing it. That's mainly to do with the motion capture. Just it's way better compared to Rococo. Nice. That looks a lot better now. Let's see this bit of him walking around. That all looks fine. I don't see any issues there. Uncle, don't worry, I help you. Yeah. Pretty good. And this is the beauty of, like, this was done with an iPhone, guys. This was an iPhone that did this. Like, that's insane, and it's so high quality. Like, I've barely had to do any cleanup. Ooh, what was that? You see that? Right there. What's happening there? Let's figure out what's happening. Let's go to the head and let's figure out Unc is having a stroke. StarCraft? Yeah, StarCraft. Okay, also here, she's like this, but for some reason the metahuman has done this. So, let's find the jaw. Add a keyframe. Keyframe. Oh, I am noticing an issue with the jaw. I've had this problem before. Yeah, I've had this happen before for some reason. What is that? Is that like no, it's not that. Is it? Like, see how it's like just two completely different like it snaps. This sometimes happens. Sometimes you have to deal with this. Like, I like how it... Is it less snappy now? Yeah, that looks good. Did you buy these environment assets, or are those free? I'm pretty sure this environment is free. It's the procedural environment demonstration, and then basically I've just gone in and altered things. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's free. There's a lot of really cinematic stuff that's free on Fab. And also, if you check Fab every month, they have new stuff that is free every month. That would cost you like a couple $100, but they're free for that month. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, I recommend checking it out. There are assets that I did buy. Yeah, that's good. I'm happy with that. I am happy Save all. And that's it, guys. Now we can bring it into our scene. But wait, there's a few things we got to do before. And the main thing is we got to sync it up with the body, right? If the facial motion capture and the body motion capture are out of sync, you're going to be able to tell he might look to his right when he's actually looking to his left. He might start screaming when he's not supposed to, you know, different things. So basically what you have to do is you have to use something called a sync clap. And basically what you have is you have your actor or yourself, depending on who it is, and you're in your motion capture, you've got your facial capture, body motion capture is rolling, facial motion capture is rolling, and then basically what you do is you do a sync clap where you open your mouth and then you clap and close your mouth at the same time. So it'd be like this. And now I know that if I put the facial capture and the body capture in my sequence, and I make sure that that and that closing the mouth, that sounded weird when I said that, are synced up, then I know that for the rest of the sequence, it's all going to be fine, and I don't have to worry about it ever again. How did you create a Unreal Engine 5 control rig for that zombie for custom characters? So that zombie, or sorry, that infected is actually a metahuman. That is how I got the rig on it. It's just a straight up metahuman. Oh, I'm moving a little too fast here. Slow this down. There we go. This guy right here, this sexy fellow right here, is a metahuman. I just basically brought his textures into Substance Painter and created custom textures, and then I also sculpted in Blender some like cordyceps fungus growing out of his head, and it's just parented to his head. He's not the best looking stalker. Like, I mean, none of them are good looking because they look pretty grotesque, but I mean more in terms of like if you look at the stalkers that are in the game, he doesn't really look that similar to them. But the reality is, like, with the budget that I have and the time that I have to make this, and the fact that I'm the only one working on the post side of things, like I had a whole team for production, which by the way was the first time I've ever had that. Like, I'm a one-man army, guys, and this was the first time I actually had other people working with me. And so this time around, I basically had the team for the shoot. It was awesome. That meant that we could be way more ambitious. But in the post side of things, I've got to just do what I can. And so I've pushed it as much as I can to make him look like a stalker. But I would need way more time to make him look more like one. But yeah, he's a metahuman. He's just a metahuman. Genius. Yes, big brain. Oh yeah, this is big brain time right now. Oh, this is big brain. Is that Markiplier? I love Markiplier. Okay, so that's the sync clap there. So basically, let's come on over here. Got a light there, which is super useful. Oh mate, how you doing? Sorry, I brutalized the pronunciation there. But hello, hello. So we come in here to our face, plus animation, and then we just type in the name that we gave it. And you got James Forrest with Stalker facial cleaned up sequence. Boom. And you'll notice, first off, the head looks a little weird. Don't worry, we'll fix that. I should just keep it like this. Cool. So that's it looks incredible. Look at it, bro. Oh, mate, that's how he looks. Forever now. This is how he looks. But no, this is how we solve it. So you click on the body, scroll up here, you're gonna disable post process, and you're gonna keyframe your animation mode. And then you're gonna do the same for the face. Disable post process, keyframe. Yeah, bro, what happened to your uncle? He lost his neck. And so now that I've disabled the post-process blueprint on both the face and the body, and I have keyframed the animation mode for both, it should work fine, right? But look, why is the head separate from the body? What's going on? This isn't what? What's why does this look like this? Well, don't worry. This is what we do. You just need to reload your map. So you come to your sequence, right click, open map, open the map that it's in. It's essentially like reloading your scene. I really hope this doesn't clearing. What do you mean clearing? Oh no, it just meant okay. No, I understand what it meant now. It's gonna reload, and then and then it just works. Yeah, don't worry, I'm saving him. I'm saving him. I'm gonna figure it out. Just takes a while to load this map because it's a pretty dense map. If it gets stuck on this, I might just have to call it there, which is really annoying because I want to show this. So hopefully this does this quickly. But essentially what will happen is it will reload, we go back into the sequence, and it will just work. Just kind of annoying how long this is taking. This happened earlier today. It was just stuck on 80% for quite a while because it's a huge map, so and there's a lot going on, so come on, Unreal. Do your job, yeah? I mean, to be fair, it is a very dense scene. Damn, this thing's taking forever. Come on, bruh. Why are you taking so long? Why do you use a huge map? I'm just using the pre-made map. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the only reason. I'm just using the pre-made map. I could probably make it a lot smaller. But it's one of those things again where it's like I like having the freedom of like a full map, just in case I want to build upon a certain part and get some additional angles maybe some wide shots, and I don't have to worry about going beyond what's in frame, essentially. It was loading pretty fine earlier, but it's taking a while right now, so we might have to call it here, and I just, you know, show it next live stream around. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll wait like a couple minutes longer and see if it loads anything, and if not, might have to call it there. Yeah, I could delete the unwanted parts. I just, with it being like procedurally generated, I don't know how to do that, essentially. I did that for a previous scene. There's a scene in this where I used another pre-made environment, and there was just far too much in the scene. So I like deleted basically everything except the like local area where the cameras were going to be. And it helped. But with this, because it's a procedurally generated world, you can't like just select meshes and delete them. So I think there's like a more complicated way of doing it, and I'm not super experienced with procedurally generated stuff. I'm still trying to learn that element, so you know, something for another time. But the work is done. It's just now well, hush hush, you know, not gonna say too much. Okay, this is taking way too long. We might just have to call it there, guys. I apologize. Wanted to show you guys what the final thing looks like, but basically what would happen is the map will reload. We'll go back into the level sequence, and the head will be just attached, and we won't have that problem anymore where there's no neck. And it will look awesome. And then basically from there, it's like adding the finger motion capture. We used Rococo smart gloves for the fingers for all the characters. And then also just in my own time, I'll have to record the facial capture for the infected. And yeah, I mean, from there, it will be looking pretty solid. I can start rendering out some tests, start applying the post-processing stuff, start applying the color grade, and just, you know, really honing in that cinematic look. I'm not going for complete realism with this piece. I'm going for basically the cutscenes. If you watch the cutscenes in the remastered The Last of Us game, that's the quality I'm striving for with this piece. Like, I'm okay with it having a bit of a video game look to it because it's a video game. The Last of Us is a video game, so I don't mind it having a bit of that look, you know. I think it's part of the charm. But as long as it isn't janky, like, basically, I want to avoid any level of jank. I want to, like, any jank, get rid of it, you know. Like, certain videos, it's like we can use with some jank. It can make it a bit comedic. But I want to make sure that it's, you know, up there. Yeah, man. Well, it's a bit of a balance. I got to take my time, but I also got to put in the work because I'm running out of time. You know, the first episode comes out on April 13th, I believe. So that week that it comes out, I want to get this out, which means I only have 3 weeks left to make this, which is okay. But if I have got to delay it by a week and release it when episode 2 comes out, I will, without hesitation, because I want to deliver something that is high quality for you all to enjoy. You know, but yeah, it's looking very nice. We're coming along very good. I think I'm hoping that this week I'm going to get blocks 4 and 6. Yeah, I'm hoping to get blocks 4 and 9 done this week, which then means we only have 4 blocks left. And so if I can just keep up that process of doing like roughly 2 blocks a week, I think we'll be very much on track. How much is done in terms of percentage? Almost half. Almost half is now done, and I've got 3 weeks left. So, yeah, we're doing fine. It's hard to completely come up with an accurate estimation, just because some blocks are longer than others, you know. So it's like, yeah, I have 5 blocks left, but 2 of them are 30 seconds long, and there's like no character interaction. So it's literally just putting the mocap on the character, maybe doing a little cleanup, setting up the lighting, and hitting render, you know. So things like that, quite easy, not going to be very complicated. So going to be doing that stuff. But yeah, no, we're making good. I'm making good progress. I'm happy with the progress. It's just staying on it, you know, and not slacking. So yeah, if you follow me on Instagram, you will see updates. You will also see exclusive behind the scenes content. I think also I have members turned on. So if you become a member on this channel, not only are you going to be supporting me, because I don't make any money off of this channel, but you will also get exclusive content, and like exclusive behind the scenes content. And you will also get early access to videos. So when I release this piece, you will get to watch it first before anyone else does. You'll also be able to be able to watch basically anything that comes out early, essentially. So there's that. I've kept it relatively affordable because, again, I'm not in it for the money, but I'm not making a lot of money right now. So if you know, if you want to support, feel free to. But also, hey, no pressure. Hey, look at that! It's actually loaded. Looks like me rambling on for 5 hours. Worked out. So we can now go in here and nice. That looks very creepy. Oh, he's there. He won't be there in the actual piece, by the way. But how does this look? Let's see. What does he look like? I want to see him turn around. I want to see what his character. Nice. Nice. Hell yeah. This is looking very good. Hell yeah. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? It's pretty sick. Again, this is like very low quality, so that's why you're seeing that trailing. That trailing won't be there in the actual thing. Nice. That looks sick. I'm actually really happy with how that looks. There is a texture on the light. Yes, there is. Because obviously that's so iconic in the game, right? That little flashlight that attaches to like the strap of Joel's backpack and also Ellie's. That's such an iconic part of the games. I was like, I've got to have that. Like, I can't not have that in my short film. So, yes, there is a texture. And it just gives it a nice look. But Yeah, it's crazy how much the weather system does. Let's go. I want to go frame by frame. So this is without weather, and then this is with weather. Without. With. Yeah, man, it completes it. It really does. The light, the torch really completes it. That looks, yeah, it's very cool. I've also, it's not super obvious, but I've got like little drips of water like going down the screen of the camera to make it, you know, give it more of that realistic look. But yeah, it looks pretty sick. Pretty happy with it. Pretty awesome. I think that's a pretty damn productive stream there, guys. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I'm doing these every week, so feel free to drop on by, and if not, no worries. They go up on the channel, so, you know, if you can't make it one week, you can still come by and watch and see what we accomplished, and also see what I accomplished in between the live streams. Last of Us hire this guy. Hey, that would be pretty cool. If Naughty Dog sees this short film, that would be pretty sick. They don't need to hire me, but if they just saw my short film and I got like a message from like someone like Neil Druckmann, oh, that would, I'd be complete. It's my favorite game of all time. Every aspect of it I adore. So, you know, the acting, the visuals, the directing, the music, the world design, the game design, the combat, everything about it it's an incredible world. I love it. I love how focused it is on characters, um, and that the action comes secondary, but it still very much takes time to show the action. I love that balance. So yeah, if Naughty Dog saw, oh, it'd be so cool. But anyway, I won't yap about that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I'm live every Sunday, every week. Come on by. We have a good time. Show you guys what I did in that week. I will not be live streaming next weekend because I am off to see some family that I have not seen in quite a while. I miss them quite a lot. So I'm going to go and spend some time with them over the weekend. But the following weekend after that, um, I will be back. And to be honest, the advantage of that is that you guys, I will just have even more to show you guys, you know, so of what I've been working on. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. You guys are going to love this final product. I'm very confident that you guys are going to love this final product. Um, and yeah, I hope you all have an incredible evening, morning, afternoon, night, whatever time it is, wherever you guys are. I hope you have an incredible time. I hope you have an incredible week. If you do not follow me on all socials, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, and I am also obviously on YouTube. So make sure to follow me on all those areas. You'll see exclusive stuff. And yeah, I love the first part. I've waiting for the part 2 PC release for so long. Yes. Um, yeah, that would be interesting when they port that to bless you too, man. Bless you too. Have an amazing week. Everyone watching, have an amazing week. If you're watching this live or you're watching this post live, I hope you have an incredible week. I won't see you next weekend, but I will see you in the following one, and I'll have a ton more to show you guys. But until then, in a bit.